Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Unger the Radar. I'm your host Randy Unger, and I have quite a panel today, and I really want to thank everyone from coming out from the snow and the cold to make it here today. I'm just going to go down the list. We got Mr. Chris Clemente. Hello, sir.
Hey Randy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Adam J.
How's it going?
Hello. And Dan Quenqua.
Hi, Randy. How you doing?
I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
I drove Randy, so he had to come out here.
Yeah.
He's actually just an Uber driver.
He gets 2 stars. That's all.
What? I'm a 5-star guy.
Maybe 2.5.
Thank you.
Okay. So, thanks for making the time today. We got a few things to go over. It's going to be a good show. But first, we have 3 movies to review. The first one is basically 2 movies. It's 2 parts. It's called Surge of Power.
Is it a movie, Randy? Would you label this as a movie?
It was shot.
It was made out of some guy's basement.
It's a documentary.
Pretty much. And it's a ridiculously low-budget superhero saga? I don't know. But, yeah, basically, and he's openly gay, to just FYI. And basically, it's the synopsis: a gay attorney uses his newfound powers to thwart a mad scientist. And this, already you guys have strong opinions, I know.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Dan.
You're
going to start with me?
Yeah, I'll start with you.
All right. So, where do you begin with a movie like this?
How do you truly feel about this movie?
How do I truly feel? Well, let me try and say some positive things first about it. And that's going to be a very short list. I guess the thing that I did find pretty great was first, I didn't know that it was going to be all gay cast, the whole thing. And then I was like, oh, this is an all gay movie. And, the first one came out in 2004,
yep.
Right? And so I was like, okay, so this is a little, taboo back then, I guess. Right. And then they made a sequel because they were like, well, if we got away with it then, we could totally get away with it now. And so I was a little more all right, I applaud you for, being like, you know what, we're just going to go full-on flame here and just, have fun with it and roll with it. We'll have all these really low-budget actors and actresses in it, and we'll see what happens. And, they made a little fan film. So, I definitely give them, kudos for that. But that's pretty much it. The only really good thing I could say about that movie, because everything else is, it's a labor of love. I could say that. It's a labor of love. That's all it is.
And it's a parody. It's a satire.
Hey, I get it. It's a satire, and they're not trying. You could tell.
Yeah,
they're they're just doing it for fun, just like us. We're here, we're having fun. So I can definitely appreciate that.
Right. And Jim, can you actually pull up that photo, first photo, so people can get a sense?
No. Don't get a sense of this. Run, save yourself. Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Oh, great.
Go
all right with it, Rad.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of parodies. I love them to death. They make me laugh. They're great. They make you want to watch. This was not a parody. This was not a satire. This was made out of some guy's basement. He really thought that he was getting you into it. I don't even care about the gay characters, because in the first movie you're not even caring that the characters are gay. In the second movie, they really full blown said, listen, we're gay, this is what we're doing, we're all taking our shirts off. Literally what they did, they took their shirts off.
And pants.
All that was missing was a big Jello shot scene where they're doing shots off each other.
That's the third movie, though.
I hope so.
A lot of jockstrap jokes.
Randy would definitely watch that.
Oh, thanks.
But it was just, there's no character development, there's no story, there's nothing. There's nothing that makes you want to say, holy crap, I am so invested in this movie. I need to watch more of it. The characters are terrible. It was some guy's dream of making a movie, and I've seen middle school productions do so much better.
Adam's a teacher, by the way. So.
I am a teacher. I have middle school students that make a 5-minute movie that's better than this. This was pure crap. The first thing I said was, "What is going on in the first movie?" In the second movie, the second movie, which took 14 years to come up with, and I could see why. He really thought about how bad he wanted to make it, but I give this 2 thumbs down.
So not on your radar.
No, it's not. If I had a radar, it's way off of it.
Okay.
It's on someone else's radar.
Oh yeah.
I can't agree more.
Okay.
I'm so happy.
I'm surprised.
I'm so happy that the synopsis said that they were openly gay because I didn't read the synopsis going into this, and
it kind of makes it better because it's like a surprise.
Like,
you're like, whoopsie! Oh my gosh!
Oh, okay. So I feel better about this now. At least that now they know because just watching these 2 films, they kind of blend together.
Yeah.
But like I was like, I hope they know that they sound very, very gay.
Imagine if that wasn't that wasn't the intention at all. That was not our intention.
Because like I kind of thought, well, maybe they're trying to riffing on like some of the earlier comic books, like Aquaman, where it has kind of those tendencies. But I'm like, it was just poorly constructed.
Do you remember on SNL the ambiguously gay duo?
Yeah. They made a reference. They made a reference in the first one to that.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
it felt like that.
That's funny.
It felt like that. Yeah,
that was like the inspiration.
Yeah, they said like our costumes are very ambiguous, and I was like, all right, I got it.
Yeah, now that explains quite a bit. To Dan's point, then, like I totally agree that like if it's a big step forward for like the gay movement to have these characters involved.
Absolutely.
Although I would go out on a lim and say that they're going way off the spectrum and kind of making it a little bit distasteful and it's it's almost like a little racist towards gays and like I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
It surprised me that Rennie said he's gay because like I think I thought I'm really surprised because I thought it was distasteful for the gay community, and it made no sense why everything was so overly done that I felt dirty watching this movie.
Yeah,
like there were times where I had to leave the room.
Yeah,
but why 13 years?
We all needed to shower afterwards.
I had to shower during the movie.
Why 13 years though? Why did it take so long?
To get the budget, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't
the
that
budget
much higher.
The budget was bigger.
Not much.
But it's
Eric Roberts is in this movie.
Eric Roberts is the reason.
Eric Roberts, who you probably know from such movies as I'm Julia Roberts' brother, and I've really done nothing since the 80s, but he's
decent in this.
He's amazing.
He's a good villain, yeah.
And I don't know. I think all the budget went to his salary. And
if there was,
I think you might be right.
And he's amazing in it, and I don't know how they got him.
He's better than the other actors, I think.
He's better because he has some training, I guess. But like,
probably. He was a delight to watch, I think.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the cameos at the end? The end credits.
To be honest, I like those the most.
Yeah, those are fun.
You know, after experiencing it with the first movie, throughout the second movie, I'm like, I can't wait for the cameos at the end.
Yeah,
that's pretty much there's a lot. There's some good here. They could have expanded on the good, but they really focus on the bad.
I don't know. I think it was a poorly tasted satire. Like Adam's saying, I think it's not really a satire. It's not really a parody. I think whatever type of good message they're trying to relay about sexual orientation, I think it's hidden.
It kind of gets lost.
Yeah, it kind of gets lost with campy jokes.
I guess they had a good intention. It just kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from that. So we'll never have to ever.
So what do you think? Is it on the radar at all, Randy, for you?
Well, Randy, what do you think about this?
I don't think I've ever heard of a movie that's not on the radar.
You know I love superhero movies. This one is, it's very different. It's a standard formula, and in my opinion, it is a satire. It does, make a nice commentary on the superhero film. It's on the radar.
It's on the cusp.
I like the second one more. I thought it was funnier, better jokes, better character development. But I think they could have expanded on it.
You're a sucker for superhero films.
That's
what it is.
Hey,
you don't even care. Yeah, exactly.
So it's very low on the radar, but it's on the radar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
And now we're gonna jump to Lightspeed to a more a more
nobody wrote these jokes for him.
Really?
We're a little late with this one. It came out a few weeks ago, but the new Star Wars film. And Dan, I specifically wanted to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts?
Yeah,
me specifically?
Well, all three of you.
It came out in 1977. We're just getting into it now.
Little late, 4 years.
So is this gonna be a spoiler-free review or a spoiler review?
That's a good.
That's up to you.
Maybe light spoilers.
Light spoilers?
It's either you're in or you're out.
Yeah, it's got to be in or out, man. Got to make a decision.
It's already been a couple weeks.
You're right.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it good. I think we should go spoiler.
I usually say this is a spoiler-free zone.
Okay.
But I think today
we're going to make the exception.
We're going to make the exception.
All right, very cool.
Fire away.
All right. So again, I'm going to go over the pros and cons because that's what I like to do. I like to be positive first with these things. So. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. I thought it was a great. Overall, I left. I was happy. I was like, this is a great Star Wars movie. I love the dedication to practical effects that they've been doing with the new movies. You know,
the J.J. Abrams effect.
Yeah. They've added a lot of practical effects, and they continue to do that. And I think that makes fans happy. You know, it makes it feel like the Star Wars universe, which is great. I really enjoyed seeing some of these old characters come back. I mean, they even had Yoda come back, which was awesome. That was like so amazing, you know. I really liked seeing Leia again in a role that was very different from the old movies, and she had a much bigger role than the last film. So it was great to see her, and I really like that they stayed true to the film and that they didn't kill her off or anything. They had a completed product, you know, with Carrie Fisher. And they said, you know what, let's continue and let's show the whole film with, you know, like let's not, you know, cut her out early or anything. So I thought that was great. And there were definitely a lot of opportunities in the film that they could have killed her off. Like,
oh, sure.
Yeah. And they could have like easily just written her off. I'm like, that's it. We're done.
I was kind of expecting
that.
Oh,
for sure.
After Han,
for sure. There were multiple positions where they could have easily just edited it in a way that she could have been taken out, you know.
Like,
and they didn't.
Going to be in future films? Or?
No, that's it. She's done. So they have to. Yeah. Well, she's dead.
I mean, no, they did that with Grand Moff Tarkin. Remember?
True, and they may do something like that. Right. You never know.
They technically did that with.
Yeah, they might do some quick scene, like because it's very expensive, very time consuming to make those kinds of things.
Right.
They may still do that.
Capture, right?
Yeah, they do motion capture or something like that. So they may or may not do something like that with her in the future. But I'm glad that we got to see what she wanted to do in that film.
Yeah, she was
the acting was excellent. I was really happy with a lot of the acting. The one Asian girl I was a little like, what was her name?
Yeah,
Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, I didn't really understand.
Irritating.
Yeah, I didn't understand her role in the film, other than like let's get an Asian girl in the film. Like that's what it felt like. It felt a little pushed. But I guess the big disappointments for me with the film, I really only have one major disappointment, which is the whole thing when. I'm going to say now a big spoiler. So when Snoke dies and he's killed, you know, and then
I didn't see it yet.
Why are you here?
Oh crap.
And with Rey, the whole scene with Rey, when it turns out that she's just trash, you know, like that's what he says, right? That's what Adam Driver says. You're just trash. You're just trash. You're nothing. I thought, you know, as I'm a big Star Wars fan, and so I've been on the blogs and on the Reddit pages and everyone looking at all the fan rumors and all that kind of stuff, and I felt like it was a bit of a troll. Like they were like, we're not going to put any connection to any prior films. We're not going to make any connection to any books. We're not going to make any connection to any fan ideas or anything. We're going to make Snoke have absolutely no purpose and just kill him, and we're just going to say that Rey is trash, and that's it. And it's like. And I, this is a big team of people writing a very expensive film, and so they knowingly did that. And people said, "Oh, it's fans are going to feel like they're trolled," but they're like, screw it. Those serious fans, we're not targeting them. We're targeting the young kids and the people that like the special effects and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of dialogue felt like it was lifted off of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of lifting from a lot of
the Snoke is Emperor, it's
and then it's just a lot of like ode to old stuff. Yeah, exactly. Regurgitation. That's a great way to put it with some of it. And it's so that kind of stuff really left a bad taste in my mouth. But everything else, I was,
those action sequences.
Yeah, everything was great. Poe was great. There were some really great scenes with everybody. Nice. Finn was great. Everybody. The characters were really. We saw really good character development for the new characters,
I love the acting.
And I think, that's great. Mark Hamill really, he's not as great. He hasn't been. He's a little rusty. He's a little rusty out there. But he did it. But he did it, and he worked in his favor. And the acting around him really definitely helped, and I think he rose to the occasion in a lot of ways. He had no right to be there, but he was, and he did a great job. So I think that's really. I guess I'll.
Yeah, you
that's
good?
It. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad I got that off my chest.
Okay. Been holding it in?
Yeah.
Sorry if I lean over
you. Yeah, it's okay.
The mic.
Come on.
So at the end of this, the pros and the cons, would you date this movie?
Would I date it?
Yeah, the pros and the cons.
Oh, I would totally date a Star Wars movie. That's not even like. Okay. That's not even like. Come on.
All right.
Doesn't matter. Just for the bragging rights. Come on.
Well, you go to the blogs. I'm a Star Wars fan. Okay. I will not go to the blogs. I do not have endless conversations. Okay. I've never been to a Comic-Con.
Okay.
Unlike Randy here, who goes to around the world to Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
But I thought the character development in this movie was awful. Right off the bat, I thought the acting was phenomenal. I thought the character development was terrible. There's two reasons why I watch Star Wars movies: the character development and the lightsaber battles. And I thought this movie fell short of those two things.
You mean expanding upon the characters from previous films, like the evolution of the character?
Yeah, when you watch a Star Wars movie, you want to find out everything about them. Okay. You want to find out, throughout this entire movie, you have Ben Solo.
Adam Driver, yeah.
Adam Driver's character, and you have Rey. Throughout the entire movie, they have this deep connection throughout the entire movie. They're talking to each other. That's what I felt like the whole movie was. Their odd relationship between each other, and as a Star Wars fan...
telekinetic link.
As a Star Wars fan, the entire...
Telepathy.
And in the Star Wars franchise, there's this thing about having brothers and sisters separated at birth.
Okay.
And throughout the entire movie, you're like, all right, you're going to find out she's a Solo. Right. She's a Solo. I don't know why they would get rid of her, because of what happened with Luke and Leia, but she's a Solo. And then at the end, Adam Driver, who's toying with himself the entire movie. Am I good? Am I bad? Am I good? Am I bad? Am I good? Am I bad? He goes, listen, you're just trash. And at that moment, you're like, you were fooling me. You were fooling me around. You were fooling with me for
trolling.
2 hours. You were fooling with me for 2 hours, and now you're saying you were waiting like. That's his sister.
Yep.
That's his sister.
You wanted
There's a
something.
Purpose.
Yeah.
And then you're just...
It was total trolling.
I felt like it was
trolling.
It was, what's his name? Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, the director. I felt like it was his way of saying, listen, J.J. Abrams, what you did was phenomenal. Whatever you just did, I'm going to completely undo everything you just did.
Yep.
And slap every fan in the face.
Yep.
There was a battle between Finn and the... head of the
commander,
they had, what was it? What was it? A 5-second lightsaber battle, which ended very quickly.
Yeah,
there was. I felt it was just characters talking throughout the entire movie, and then, you see Luke Skywalker coming to the rescue, and then eventually Luke.
Yeah, it was kind of a little scattered.
Without giving any spoilers away. It was basically Adam Driver toying with himself, and then basically him saying, listen, I'm evil.
Yeah. Well, he was conflicted. He was battling his emotions. He didn't know which way to go.
Right, and it just sets up the third movie where it's like, okay, we're getting ready. It's a play on the first three of the Star Wars movies, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I think it feels like a parody of those movies right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree as well. I'm a Star Wars fan. I wouldn't say that I'm an Uber fan, but
he drove here in the Millennium Falcon every day.
It's true. I actually parked right outside.
Nice.
But I think for what it's worth, I think it had good action. It looked nice, and I think what we don't really realize yet is that Disney owns this property now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and that's the thing. Yeah.
It's no longer the Star Wars that we
and it
love
felt that way. Like this one really. The last one didn't feel as
Right.
much, but this one felt like okay, this is the Disney Star Wars now.
I especially felt it here.
Yeah, like it was a
seemed
slap in the face. Like no,
Right.
this is ours now. This is what we're gonna do with
Right.
it.
It seemed like going forward, we're going to see the next generation of Star Wars movies. Even from the very end with the little kids. So.
It's very PG. It's like
very PG.
It's squeaky clean.
Yeah, I mean, there were some great scenes. I enjoyed the Supreme Leader's death scene, and there were some just nice visual effects.
Death. And does anybody really die?
That's true. Well, maybe he doesn't.
See,
Really
that's the
come
thing.
back
People
as
are now going to be like, "Oh, is he dead? I don't know.
That's
Is he
true.
dead? I don't know. Maybe he'll come back." Yeah, they'll just keep making us guess, and they'll keep trolling us and be like, "No, none of that's going to happen. Don't worry."
They're going to be making Star Wars movies forever.
Yeah, that's their plan. That's definitely their plan.
They're printing money. That's all it is.
What I really enjoyed about this was that there was a lot of homage to some of the inspiration towards Lucas's Star Wars. So there was a lot of hints towards Akira Kurosawa's Japanese films that really inspired George Lucas, even from the very beginning with like that suicide drop. It felt like
the bomb drop. Yeah.
the bomb drop, right? It felt like it was paying homage to some of his visual effects. Even there were some lightsaber scenes that didn't use the light sword. It just used like the butting of the guns that felt like bamboo sticks. So
nice.
I'm a big fan of Kurosawa, and when I prepare myself to see these movies, I kind of like watch like The Hidden Fortress and things like that.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
So I think it was Brian Johnson's homage to George Lucas. Although I heard that there was a lot of creative differences between George Lucas and Brian and
Ryan.
Ryan Johnson and even Mark Hamill. There was a lot of creative differences.
Yeah, I've heard a lot that Mark Hamill was not happy with the way the film went.
Yeah.
This film.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with it.
Why?
They won't say, but
He said that
he did okay.
It's strayed away from a lot of George Lucas's vision, because apparently Lucas had like this idea of this episode in the making, and they just didn't take it. Yeah.
Well, if the future films are anything like the prequels, then I think we're doomed.
Yeah, I mean that's what we have to say, right? You have to compare it to the prequels. Like, this was way better than the prequels. Exactly.
It kind of falls way above that, and I think there's a lot of good that'll come out of like a Disney Star Wars. I think if you're feeling nostalgic, it's great that we're going to see this for a couple of years.
And that's the thing, though. I don't want to feel nostalgic. I want the story to move forward. I want to see new. I want to see where we're going with it. I'm not looking forward to Solo. Like, I don't care. Like I know he got. I don't care.
Forward.
Yeah, exactly. Give me something new.
How do you guys feel about Finn and Poe and this Asian girl now? And
there was no reason for this Asian girl. I think she was just there's Finn and no, what's the Rey?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So they're throughout the entire movie. The first movie, they're like, oh, they're gonna end up together. Like it's a love movie. In this movie, they're literally in the movie together for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So they needed a new character.
A new love interest.
I thought that in the first movie, Finn was really good. In this movie, I was like, forget Finn. Yeah. Give me more Poe. Give me more Poe.
The whole stormtrooper background, I think they could have really expanded on that. That would have been interesting.
Well,
how he became a stormtrooper, and like that would be a better
like
prequel.
flashbacks or something like that. Yeah,
like he could do a standalone film. They probably will.
Man,
so.
they might.
Yeah, Finn, the backstory.
Yeah.
But I thought Poe was amazing, and after this movie, I said to myself, I want more Poe, and I thought he was.
Sounds like
Oscar Isaac, great actor.
He is great. Did you see him? He was in Drive, and there was a gangster film he was in. I forget the title. You know what I'm talking about?
American.
No.
Not American History.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a great actor.
He's in Inside Llewyn Davis. He was great in that.
Yeah,
Excellent.
That was Coen Brothers, by the way.
The acting was amazing. The story felt rushed. It felt there was no direction. That they had ideas and they were going somewhere, and they're just like, you know what? Let's just end it right there.
Yeah.
They killed off the main whatever you want to call the Dark Emperor. What's leader of the dark side, which is now a black hole apparently.
Mm-hmm. In Mark Hamill's planet's home. Like,
and apparently on Mark Hamill's planet
up.
now, the dark side is now a hole where you fall into, and there's a big mirror. So they made it into from a thought to an actual experience, which I felt that it didn't need it.
Yeah, right. It was a little much, a little heavy. Oh, by the way, a Most Violent Year.
Most Violent
That's
Year.
That's the Oscar Isaac movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So, Chris.
Yeah, just like my expectations are kind of low with Star Wars, and to be quite honest, the reason why we're not getting a lot of those answers is because Disney wants to kind of
they want to lead you on. But the fact that they'll lead you on and then they don't provide you the answer, that's like a bit of a slap in the face. That's like, come on. You could do a little better than that. Stick to something. People are gonna be upset with it either way. Like there are people that'll be happy with it, people that are gonna. But at least you stood your ground and you said something. And it's like, but they don't do that for the story. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm just a fan.
You mean they don't explain stuff?
They don't. They'll do things like what Adam was saying is like they'll make you feel like maybe they're connected, maybe they're brothers and sister,
right.
And then it turns out that they're not. And it's like, why are you doing that to us? Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and then we're like, well, maybe they are connected in another way. And it's just like they're letting the fan, like the fans just build things up and build an interest and a desire to see the film. Right. But then they go ahead and they don't give you an answer. Well, and then it's like, well, okay, that was screwed up.
What's the most memorable thing about Star Wars?
Space battles, lightsaber duels.
What about
plot line?
The plot line, but like the biggest thing that anybody ever remembers about Star Wars is the line, Obi-Wan Kenobi never told you about your father.
Yeah.
I am your father.
Yeah.
That's the moment you were waiting for Ben to tell Rey,
I am your brother.
Or you know about your parents deep down. You know the answer. You know the answer. And then he's like, you're trash. It's like that's not what I want.
The cliffhanger at the end of Empire is crazy. It's nuts. Finds out that Darth Vader's his father. Luke's in freaking carbonite, or not? Sorry, I'm sorry. Han's in carbonite, and everybody's just like, now you got to go home. And you're like, oh my god, could you imagine seeing that movie in theaters and have to wait like for Return of the Jedi? It's like it's insane.
Do you remember there was a Simpsons episode where there's a flashback to Homer and Marge dating? And then they pass by a movie theater, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah, then he comes out.
Oh man, I can't believe he's his father. Oh come on, man. We're waiting online.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I mean, I guess they did it in the last one. I mean, no one saw that Han Solo was going to be killed, and The Force Awakens. That blew everyone away. full of them today.
Seriously.
I think in the next movie we'll find out that Kylo Ren is Rey's brother.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think J.J. Abrams is going to...
it's all about cliffhangers.
J.J. Abrams is going to take over the next one. He's going to redo everything that Ryan just did and say, listen, Star Wars has a way of rewriting mistakes and saying like, oh, you know how I said you were trash? Fooled you. Exactly. I'm really your brother.
That's what I mean, though. But like, they should have done something bold. They could have done they could have done something really big and done something like and made like they could have had Rey like end up going to the dark side and then had Kylo go to the white side. Like they could have flipped. Like that would have been awesome as a story. That would be amazing, right? And then you have no idea what's going to happen in the next film. Like that would have been so cool if that happened. And she killed Han or not Luke. That would be intense, and like people would be like, "Oh my gosh!" But that didn't happen.
I'm confused about the ending of this. So Luke, he kind of evaporates.
He like joins the Force.
Did he die?
He joins the Force.
It's almost like.
But we're not going to talk about the fact that he had a robot hand, and the robot hand also joined the Force. We're not going to to talk about that, right? We're not going to talk about that.
His robe stayed.
Yeah, but the robot hand didn't. It joined the Force.
Trying
to wet your noodle with that one there. Now you're gonna be thinking about that for days.
So if you ever saw The Time Traveler's Wife, when he goes back in time, he goes naked and his clothes stay. So whoever Luke is right now, he's naked.
That's
just want to put that in your mind. He's naked.
You have to be naked in time.
Yeah, but Yoda's got a robe, and so does Obi-Wan when he comes back in the Force. So he's not gonna have a robe now? What's the deal?
At the end of Jedi, all four of them are waiting. They're all in their robes.
Yeah, so is Luke not gonna have a robe when he comes back?
I can have a
But he'll have a robot hand. I
can have a 20-minute rant about movie theater prices, but I think you should go see it just for the CGI of Yoda. Yoda looked downright creepy in this movie.
Yeah, with the
it didn't look the same. His ear, he had one ear like
here,
1 year
here.
He's like a million years
old. A little off. He did look a little off.
He looks pretty creepy in the original movie.
Yeah, I think that's what you're underestimating. Go back and watch Empire. You're like, oh, that thing is creepy as hell.
I have a question. Can Frank Oz die? Because like he's
been on
everywhere.
He's great. All right, guys. So, final thoughts on Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Chris.
It's on my radar. It's fine. It's not on my top 10s, but it's fine. I'm looking forward to the next ones.
Nice, cool. Adam.
I think it's a good movie. I like to see where they go with it in chapter 9, let's say, because I think that just like Return of the Jedi, it's just a holdover movie for the final piece of the puzzle.
That won't be the final piece.
Of course, because how can you say no to $1 billion franchise?
Right, exactly.
I don't have a choice. I think about seeing the next one. It's like
you're invested.
Exactly. Like I gotta see Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Take my money. They can charge whatever they want. Now I'm gonna pay.
What happens if it's Power of Surge meets Star Wars?
I'd still probably have to see that.
Or Surge of Power.
I'd still have to see it. I watched the holiday special multiple times.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Don't.
No. It's horrific.
Isn't Boba Fett in that?
Oh yeah, everybody's in it. It's awful. It's awful. The lady from Golden Girls is in it.
Wait, Estelle Getty?
The tall one. What was her name?
B. Arthur?
B. Arthur. That's it. B. Arthur's in it. She sings a song at a bar.
She is so hot.
It's great. It's in her prime too, man. You should watch it.
Is she a character in the?
Yeah, she sings a song. It's amazing.
Why couldn't we review that?
Yes.
Yeah, next time. Holiday special. Nice. It's great.
All right, guys. So,
Randy, what do you think? What's your final thought on Star Wars? I want to hear your final thoughts.
I mean, I didn't love
Definitely on the radar.
It is definitely on the radar. I thought it was a lot better than Force Awakens.
Okay.
Kind of on par, maybe a notch above Rogue One.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I would agree.
I love the acting, as you said, is amazing. I'm mirroring everything you said.
Okay.
The acting, the action sequences were great. The lightsaber duel was probably the best since Phantom Menace. In my opinion.
Okay.
And
which lightsaber battle?
The one between was Rey and Kylo Ren, Ben Solo against all those red guards.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was interesting.
And the sound design definitely it's going to be nominated for some Oscars.
And compared to Force Awakens.
So
yeah, I liked it a lot more than Force Awakens.
It's stuff like that when you say the battle with them two that you want that connection between them and that you feel empty at the end of the movie. It's just like you feel lost and confused and you felt bad.
The movie could have criticisms. It could have been shorter. Could have been maybe a little under 2 hours. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah,
I could have done without the casino planet. Remember with those horse creatures? Yeah. That was a huge waste of time.
It had Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro was wasted in the
Good point. Yeah.
I think he was wasted on the set as well.
Probably. No poorly developed character. I really didn't want to see anything any more of him. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see a standalone Poe film. I think that'd be amazing. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to the future. I mean, I think this is a good franchise, and it's getting stronger. It's not exactly 70s and 80s caliber,
but
it's not the same. I think it's going in a good direction.
Yeah. It's better than DC. I mean, that's really, right compared to if you're going to compare franchises, right?
I wish you were here. For
Justice League. Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't here for Justice League.
There is a nice trailer for the next Justice League. I think it's Justice League 14. Return of Iron Man Part 47. Robert Downey Jr. needs more work.
They will probably do a Marvel DC crossover film in the near future.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I would be so happy about that.
That'll be it. Then the world will end.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it.
But they can keep making these franchise movies forever. It's true, and it's for the next generation kids.
And I was telling you before the director for this film was his name again. I'm sorry,
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. He's been greenlit to do a whole new Star Wars films within the Star Wars universe with all new characters. So that should be interesting. I'd pay to see that.
He could take Finn's new love interest.
Yeah. Or not. Or not.
Rose.
Yeah.
The Rose story. All right, guys. So we got a lot more to cover, actually. And we're actually going to turn into our top 10 list of 2017. So Mr. Chris Clemente and I are going to go down. This is the part
where Adam just is going to take a nap.
Yeah. Now, you guys, I mean, we haven't even compared lists yet, Chris and I. So.
Okay.
Going in.
Yeah.
We'll just add sound effects. We'll go, whatever when we agree or disagree.
We are backup singers. Yeah. That's why we're on the couch.
Yeah. Are you the Fly Girls?
Yeah. Yes. Ooh, na.
Oh yeah.
I like this part.
Yeah, it's good, right? It's good.
Chris, I am your father.
So first off, we're going to start off with our top movie of last year, 2016.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And for me...
Or 2018, actually.
Well, yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry, we're having our own... We're doing our own show over here. Don't worry.
Is that a sub-show?
Yeah, exactly. It's a spin-off. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So my top movie last year was Fences, the Denzel Washington and Viola Davis.
I recall you...
Yeah.
Ultimately loving that film.
Big fan of that movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Both performances were powerful and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I think it was a play.
It
felt like that, but you could just watch Denzel and Viola and you'd be transported to this time period.
Yeah,
50s,
no, it was great. It was great. From what I recall, it's been a while, but great performances. My only criticism is that it was just too much on the page. It took a lot from the actual play, and I kind of wanted to feel its own rhythm a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, but still great performances all around.
Nice. And your top last year?
My top was Manchester by the Sea. Yeah, just with a lot of the films that I ultimately love, it's because of great performances.
Enjoying yourself?
Yes, I agree. Yes.
My cousin was the principal of the school where they shot that movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
My cousin grew up nowhere near Manchester. In your face.
Did a fine job with the maintenance of that school.
Exactly.
And so, Casey Affleck, he won the highest acting award that year.
Yeah, despite a lot of allegations, right? But I think he was perfect for the role. I think Matt Damon was supposed to be the lead for that role, but he gave it to him because of scheduling conflict. And I think it was great. I think Casey Affleck doesn't really show a lot of emotion when he acts, and I think that was perfect for that type of character.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
Oh, especially with that role.
Definitely
I
not
think
that movie.
I still remember the last scene where you just get a crack of a smile,
That's
and it meant the world for that character.
That's how we got the win.
Yeah,
for that one split second.
Yeah, and I mean between this and I'm sure another movie that we're going to be discussing with the Big Sick.
Yes.
It all boils down to Amazon Studio, and I think they're hitting it out of the park with.
Yeah, they want those Oscars.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Chris, who directed Manchester by the Sea?
The same guy that did Rocky and Bullwinkle, right?
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. The live action De Niro film?
Yeah.
The guy's name.
Sounds like, I think the executive producer of that movie was Ben Affleck. I think Collusion.
Oh, okay. A little nepotism, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
So be it, yeah.
So that's last year, or 2016, rather.
Yeah.
What is your number 10? We're going to go down.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
can we do the list of shame so that I can
do
get
that
that
first?
off my...
Shame.
List of shame, which is basically the films that I didn't get a chance to see, so you can't hold it against me when doing this list. So let me just pull that up.
Mine now.
Bad Moms Christmas.
Surge 3.
Yes!
Can't wait.
Too soon, Chris.
Too soon. Oh man. A few that I didn't get a chance to see, but really love to is I, Tonya.
Yeah. Heard good things. Margot Robbie is Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ghost Story, another Casey Affleck movie.
Okay.
Heard great things about All the Money in the World. I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I'm a big supporter of this film, despite not seeing it, just because despite all the sexual allegations that are going on in Hollywood, I think this is a great stand. The fact that what was going on with Kevin Spacey and the fact that Ridley Scott and Sony Pictures decided to, within the last month, to change all those scenes with Christopher Plummer, just for the sake of
7 days of shooting.
Right?
It did end with 7 days of shooting.
Yeah, I think that's a great. I think that's a great stand, and I don't think it's getting enough credit. I think despite the Me Too movement and everything, I think this is a positive influence that Hollywood is actually having amidst all the horror that's going on. So I think
they're making a stand, like you said, like they're saying no,
right?
No, we're gonna still do our job, despite the fact that you're gonna be gross, we're gonna work around that,
Yeah, and they're not just folding it in or just trying to slap a hand. They're saying, hey, Kevin Spacey did wrong.
Yeah,
they're gonna make up for that by putting in another actor. So I think that was a great thing. Yeah. So fortunately, I did not get time to see that, but it is on my list along with Lady Bird.
Oh yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah,
it won New York Film Critics Circle Best Picture. The New York Film Critics Circle Best Picture.
Yeah. Greta Gertrude. Gerwig. Just a great actress.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's that great. She's a little annoying to me.
Yeah, she's a little subdued in her performances, but I think in her writing, a lot of stuff that she's done with Noah Baumbach, her fiance actually, is she's done some great writing with. I think she is a voice of our generation with coming of age stories, and Frances Ha was great.
With Ben Stiller, Greenberg.
That
was good.
That was good. I really enjoyed that one. Frances Ha was she just stole the limelight with that. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Okay.
But despite that, we can go on to our list. Now that I got that off my chest.
Well, actually, I have my own shame list.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So
Jumping the gun.
Shame away.
Yeah. No, multiple people have told me that I need to see this movie, Dunkirk. The war drama.
Oh yeah, the movie that's going to get nominated and probably win for an Oscar.
Maybe.
You love your little Oscar nominations. You love
I do.
You love Life of Pi.
I love the award season.
I can.
That's another episode.
I can talk a little bit to that. It's not. I've seen that. It's not on my top 10.
Okay, good to know.
It's great.
Gasp.
It's great. A lot of great visual effects, but I think it's very forgettable. As well. Because
I tried watching Interstellar and I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Is it boring as well? Or?
It's not boring. It's really not a bad film. It's a great film. Like I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, for an example. So
who isn't?
If someone asks me, hey, like what's your least favorite Tarantino film? That's like asking me what my least favorite ice cream is.
James Brown. Not James Brown. Jackie Brown. James Brown.
Go to hell. I love that movie. That's my favorite.
James Brown.
That's one of my favorites. I can watch that one over and over and over again. I love that movie.
Really?
Jackie Brown
is one of my favorites.
It's
one of my favorites. It's definitely.
I think it's one of his weaker efforts.
No, it's great. It's amazing. I love it.
It's 2 or 3 on my list.
Yeah, the acting in it is so good.
De Niro's
pushes right through. It pushes right through everything.
Yeah. Jackie Brown is my vanilla ice cream.
And see, I love vanilla ice cream.
It's like, I love any anymore. Hi Dan, how are you?
I love ice cream, so it's like it's hard to say, does Christopher Nolan produce a bad film, because he does great. It's just it's not particularly high on my list.
Gotcha. All right, what are you? Is that the rest of your?
Is that only?
What about your list?
Is that your complete shame list?
You have one movie on your shame list?
No. I've got a few more. The Shape of Water.
Oh.
I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about it. I didn't see it yet, but yes.
Round.
It's like the creature from the Black Lagoon falls in love with this British lady.
Yeah, I'm
Guillermo del Toro, great director, great visual style.
Sounds real.
Yeah, actually, can I mention that? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I also have next up The Disaster Artist.
Oh, I did not see that as well. So
and
that should be on my shame list.
Coincidentally, the movie that it's inspired it, The Room.
The Room, yeah.
Which, Dan, I see you nodding over there.
Yeah, no, I want to see it. I just haven't, I have a 3-year-old.
Have you seen The Room?
I have seen The Room. I have seen The Room. I would love to see The Disaster Artist. I think it's great what those guys are doing. That they decided to go this way with the film. I think that's really cool.
Considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah. To make a comedy about it, I think it's great. I think it's very creative.
Which is probably one of those.
You guys are going to give me hell for Surge for years to come. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about The Room while watching Surge. I was like, is this worse than the?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you had to think about it, right? And then you're like, no, The Room still is the worst. The Room is still the worst.
And after that, I've got Wonder, which stars Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts.
You don't need to see that.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. I wouldn't say that.
You don't need to see
it. It's very uplifting.
Yeah,
uplifting.
It's a kid's book, man. You don't need to see it. You don't need to see
it.
It's
a nice story.
What looks uplifting about that?
It's a young boy. He has some issues. He's, I think, deformed. And
Randy.
I like these.
Wasn't there a movie in the 80s about that? Or in the early
Mask?
90s? Oh,
yeah! That's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, just watch that again.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would totally recommend doing that.
I've heard good things, that's all.
That you have.
I'm interested. And
who are these people that you're talking to?
Is it on
I would not talk
list?
to them.
Is it on anyone's list?
It's on mine.
Yeah, okay.
of shame.
Not shame.
I think
but
it'll win a Razzie.
Was that on any top 10 lists? Or?
Maybe.
I feel like it came and went. I feel like
I think it's in theaters, actually.
Yeah. I feel like it didn't get much praise.
Okay. And then I have Lady Bird as well.
Yep.
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
And I'm actually seeing The Post this week. Steven Spielberg directed. Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep.
Tom Hanks, man.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Randy has a huge man crush on Tom Hanks and will see anything he's ever done.
Speaking of which, it's going to be International Tom Hanks Day 2018 in Chicago this year, April 1st, I believe. So stay tuned for updates on that, guys.
We will. We should do a show where we all dress up as our favorite Tom Hanks character.
That's what they do.
Okay.
I'm actually a bigger Colin Hanks fan. I think Orange County is very underrated.
Which one?
Orange County.
Good
Colin
movie.
Hanks.
Yeah,
Funny movie.
He was good.
All right. So we still haven't even...
in Jumanji.
I'm stealing the spotlight. Please go on with your list of 2017 movies that apparently were on TV in the theater.
All right. So number 10 for me.
Okay. Well, before we, I'm sorry. I'm
You have
holding
all these,
back.
yeah.
Do you want to do any honorable mentions or?
Wasn't that The Shameless?
Well, that's
what you didn't see.
That's what you didn't see, but like movies that just got out, just sneaked out of your top 10.
I mean, since it's fresh with me,
Yeah.
Surge of Power.
Star Wars is up there, and
Okay.
Dave Made a Maze. I thought that was clever.
Okay.
Basically, it's about this young guy.
That looked good.
Yeah,
Was it good?
He creates a maze of boxes in his living room, and his wife or his girlfriend comes home one day. She's like, "Where are you?" And he's inside the maze. And once you're inside this maze of boxes, it's like a huge universe.
Oh.
Dan's 3-year-old did that also. It wasn't made into a movie.
I did it yesterday. It was great. We had a lot of fun.
That's the sequel.
There's no Minotaur in mine, though.
No.
Unfortunately.
But it was very like Being John Malkovich type,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
So
Existential kind of thing.
yeah,
right? Which is cool. I
That,
always like
that,
that.
that
kinda
almost
cool
made the
movies,
list.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
But other than that, I just want to get to my list right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
What
No,
about
I
you?
hear you. The reason why I bring this up is because throughout the whole year, I kind of like track my ratings for movies. So like throughout the whole year, I have this like live ongoing rating system for films. So like
Wow.
earlier on,
So organized.
yeah, I used to have to do it for some publications I had to write for back in the day. So I just kept on doing it. So
Like your own Rotten Tomatoes type of thing?
yeah, kind of, but it's a little bit more accurate than Rotten Tomatoes. So 3 that I would like to point out. Get Out is on my honorable mention.
I actually saw that one.
No, hey, there you go.
A movie Adam has seen.
Yep, I really enjoyed it. It sneaked on by. It definitely deserves the praise that it's been getting. I'm not sure if it deserves all the praise that it's getting, but it's definitely something that is it perks up your ears, and
It's
it's
definitely
a great watch.
I think the most memorable horror thriller of the year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really sticks with me. The visuals.
I can't see teacups the same way.
Yeah, this is the only time I could actually go into this because I'm married and my wife controls everything that I ever watch, and it's usually like Netflix shows. I don't know if I could say that word on this. It's like that word Netflix. Is that okay?
You can say that.
Okay,
You can say
Netflix,
that.
Netflix,
That's a good
Netflix.
N-word to say.
That's
okay.
a good N-word.
Yeah, not the other. But I think when you think about Get Out, what makes it even more memorable is who wrote it, and you really think about what is it, Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about his humor and
Right.
how
Right.
serious this movie is, and how like
It's like what?
you don't understand. You think of it, you're like, really, he wrote that?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just
It's breakthrough for him, you know. It's
right,
big.
and
Opens a lot of doors.
there's a
Yeah.
there's a lot of subplots on it, and a lot of I think it's remarkable, but I didn't see like Dunkirk or
And the
any
main
of these other movies that you're mentioning.
Yeah. Well, and the main kid, the young
Okay.
man, he's great in it.
Yeah.
Like,
He's great.
I've never even seen him before. I don't know. He
Yeah.
hasn't really done
he's
much.
up and coming.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, no, just a great movie
Yeah,
all
he's
around.
good.
And then also on my list, Wolves.
That's on my list.
Oh, that's on your list.
It's like number 6.
Just sneaked on by. We saw it earlier on the year.
Yeah.
and loved
It
it.
stuck with you, right?
It's still there.
This
yeah.
is back in like spring, I think.
Yeah, I think earlier than that. Probably.
We have a match.
Yeah,
Swipe
so
left
great pick.
or right.
And a Netflix movie, The Merowitz Stories.
Oh, is
I saw that.
Yeah. Ben
Yeah.
Stiller.
Another one.
There you go. See?
There you go.
You
I
got
did.
2 there now.
There are a lot of Jewish people in that movie,
Is that why you watched it?
and I
Is that
happen
why
to be
you-
Jewish, so
you needed to see
yeah.
it. Got it.
I have to. It's
Yeah.
I saw it
Now
during
it's-
during Hanukkah, so
Yeah,
it
I
kind
was
of
gonna
makes sense.
say. I was gonna say.
And now it's confirmed through DNA.com.
Yes, I'm
That's
94% Eastern European Jewish. I'm very boring.
Nice.
I immensely enjoyed that movie. I think if you look at Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller, I think they just gave some really, really phenomenal.
I can imagine them having really good chemistry.
They do have good chemistry, but
they're like the same person almost.
Yeah,
very similar stuff.
The Fonz is awesome in it too.
Yeah. Henry Winkler's in it.
Yes,
that's right. Cool.
He's the father.
That's right. Yeah.
And he was also the coach of the football team in The Waterboy with Adam Sandler.
That's
so they'll have the interpersonal relationship.
There's a connection 20 years later.
Exactly.
Cool.
But yeah, it's just individually, they gave some really good touching performances. That I think they're comparing with Adam Sandler that this was his best performance since Punch Drunk Love.
Wow.
And I would agree with that.
I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I gotta watch
this. It's not something that would totally blow your mind, but for a performance piece, I think it's
for a guy that makes his living doing fart jokes, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like nice to see him do them. I love Punch Drunk Love. I thought it was great, and then he never did anything with it. And I was like, "Where's he going with this?"
Spanglish.
Yeah, that was nothing.
He did it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He did the movie.
I know he did the movie, but
well, I guess we should.
It's on TNT like every other weekend.
It is.
After they're
done with their schmoozing. All right. So are we good at number 10 now?
We're good at 10 now.
All right.
Randy's like so excited.
I am. I spent all day.
That's the show, folks.
No, I was putting this list together.
We're being told we have to wrap up. We're only at the 10. I'm joking.
Okay.
All right. So number 10, we've got Lucky.
It's a football game.
Okay, Lucky.
Okay. Lucky is Harry Dean Stanton's last film.
Okay.
He was the father in I think 16 Candles or one of those 80s John Hughes movies. He was also in the original Alien. He's made a bunch of movies.
He's a singer. He was a country
singer
for a long time. Yeah.
And so basically this was his last on-screen appearance. And it's basically very existential. It's about this older guy. He's 90. Lives alone in like I think Texas in a trailer, like a small house. And then he like tries to he contemplates. He's very existential and thinks about death and loneliness. And basically it's about him interacting with other people in the town. He goes into this bar quite often and asks what the meaning of life is and all that. And it's just a very interesting, introspective.
It's basically Harry Dean Stanton playing Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like his last film, and
like
he passed away right after it came out.
Like he knows he's going out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It kind of. Well, I actually reviewed that with you, and it was. I thought I made a comparison to David Bowie. In that, like, David Bowie, when David Bowie passed away, before he passed away, he wrote, like, his last album, and it was kind of like Harry Dean Stanton did the same thing, where he was like, I'm going to make a movie about me, and then die. Like, and it's pretty impressive. It's amazing.
Did he know that he was going to die?
He was very old. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's almost as if like he became at peace because he made this film. Yeah. Because this is a longtime actor who never really got any credit for his work.
Always a supporting.
And he had this lead role for this film, and it's a small film, but it was really well done. It was really great. I would agree with you, Randy. I would put that on my top.
Because
10.
of that fact that he knew he was going to die soon.
Yeah.
And he made this movie. It was just a really lovely way to go out.
See, this is why you got to come back because sometimes you have to do Surge, but then you get to do movies like that, so it's good,
How'd you get that?
I don't know. Luck of the draw, man. Luck of the draw.
Come on. Hey.
That's interesting.
I want to review
Yes. So, did it make you research or see what other lead movies that he's done? Because I've only known him as a
I just honestly his most notable to me is Alien, and I know he's done a lot of other films other than that.
Never heard of Alien.
Oh, right. Whoa, well, that's part 2. He was in part 1.
Oh, damn.
Think.
Yeah, really, really. He was playing like a father.
Yeah.
Films.
True.
But okay, number 10 for you, Chris.
Number 10 for me is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That's number 3 for me.
Yeah, I caught that. Oh wow!
Discrepancy.
No, well, here's the thing with my top 10. I could exchange these like in any order.
Yeah,
especially like the top 5.
Yeah,
I would say
the top 5 I could just keep that way.
Yeah, it has to be 1, 2, 3.
Then you can't change
organizational.
Yeah. But I mean, with these top 10s, I love every one of them. So with 3 Billboards, I saw this kind of later, but I wouldn't say it blew my mind, but I thought it was a great balance between the drama and the comedy. And I was surprised because I thought from a marketing standpoint it was going more towards comedy, but I think we're hearing a lot about a lot of female leads and female driven movies, and I think this is like the quintessential female driven movie of the year, even more so than Wonder Woman.
Frances McDormand, she knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean just the dialogue, as you mentioned in the past, very Fargo-esque, and it was just great writing. You just saw it not just through the acting, but through the script itself.
Kevin McDonough, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just phenomenal.
Yeah. And you've got Frances McDormand, you got Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, and also in a small role, Caleb Landry Jones, who was actually the brother in Get Out, who like the psychotic brother who like hits the main character, attacks him. But just an overall great cast. Yeah. And the Coen brothers feel is very strong.
But they didn't really have any tie to the movie.
No, right? I don't think they did.
Yeah,
just Frances McDormand. That's the only
6 degrees of it, But I think it's just incredible. Just a smaller movie. Yeah. But it just has a great message, and you could see that it was just a well-crafted movie from acting to script.
Yeah, I think it's the cast that really took it to great.
I'm sold. I'll watch it.
There you go. You gotta see it. Yeah. It's so good.
Just spoilers. All these are on Randy's radar.
Yeah.
I haven't ever heard of a movie that wasn't on Randy's radar, and that's saying a lot.
Can we do a worst list afterwards? Maybe if we have some time.
I don't have a worst list, but I think maybe not. Surge might be on there.
Okay. All right, so moving forward, we got to pump through these.
Yeah, right? We have 4 minutes.
Yeah, so 9.
All right, let's just no synopsis.
3 minutes, 50 seconds.
For me, 9 is Logan Lucky.
Oh wow!
Yeah, excellent movie. Yeah. Excellent movie.
Yeah. Steven
Soderbergh, Channing Tatum.
So funny.
Yeah,
so
Adam
good.
Driver.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Great movie. It was just a good, solid film.
Does Channing take his shirt off? Because then I'll definitely
say it.
No, I'm not saying.
And it still was high on my list.
Damn.
Basically, it's a heist comedy. It's from the same director of the Ocean's films.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, number 9, Wonderstruck.
Okay.
About 2 kids from different eras, 1927 and 1977, who are both trying to get to New York City to find a famous actress and a father, respectively. And basically, it's how they're both of these children in these 2 eras, how they kind of their stories interconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a beautiful like fantasy drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so you're so farty,
cool.
Randy.
What?
You're so farty.
It'd be great if there was like a mailbox and they love each other at the end.
Next
up,
which is 8 now. For me, it would be Shape of Water.
Oh, you just
Shape of Water? Yeah, I saw it. Loved it. It is a weird movie, but it's weirdest in the nicest way.
Okay.
So it was really
sounds
good.
like a Del Toro movie to me.
Yeah. Felt a lot like Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Like if they made a standalone film, that would be the actor they'd go to. That,
pretty much.
Those visual effects. So.
Pretty much.
All right, number 8 for me, but this is almost purely because of Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour.
Okay.
Where Mr. Oldman plays British Prime Minister Winston Churchill during World War II. Phenomenal performance. I think he's definitely going to get a nomination. I hope he wins. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy makeup, body padding, and he changes mannerisms, his voice, everything, and he really transformed himself. And that's number 8 for me.
2 minutes.
All right, we gotta no more synopsis.
Speed this up.
Keep going.
Just go through.
Yeah.
Just go through.
You have to see them yourself.
Next, we can go through
Pointing
the
at
5.
the radio.
But so next on my list is the Big Sick.
That's number 2 for mine. So we have to go through.
Okay. Yeah. And then
awesome.
should I just run?
Yeah, just do it.
All right. So the Big Sick, and then the next is The Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay.
So I think, that's
that good.
Yeah. I mean, what I really enjoyed about this movie is that
you don't have time for this.
You just don't see a lot of those movies anymore. Okay. So it's
better than La La Land.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. All right. Is it
some dude's giving you the finger?
And then going
Randy.
forward, it's Coco.
Keep going.
Battle of the Sexes. Split.
All right.
Megan Levy.
Split.
And Last Flag Flying.
That's number 1 for me.
That is number 1 for me.
All right, so I'm going down from 7.
Okay,
down, right?
there you go.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Wowzers.
Yeah, that's number 7.
Okay.
Wolves.
Yeah.
Awesome Michael Shannon performance, amazing. What do we got here? We've got.
You have to just say them.
Battle of the Sexes. Brigsby Bear.
Oh wow.
There's a poster behind Randy.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Number 2 is The Big Sick. And
Yeah.
number 1 for me is
We have a match.
Cool,
Really?
cool. I'm glad that we're in sync with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really that good, huh? That was
amazing.
that good?
It was amazing. Yeah, just a great drama, great comedy, great acting, great everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
So, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming today. This has been amazing. This
is fun.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah,
Jam-packed.
one of our best. It might have been our best yet.
Yeah.
I think, under
Yeah.
the radar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel,
Way to start
I feel
the year off
pleased.
strong.
Yes. So, before we go, anything to plug, Chris?
You can just check out my work at themoviechat.org.
Okay. Adam, anything?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Anytime.
.com.
Make sure everyone gives Adam a 5 in his Uber account. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, guys, so that about does it. I want to thank everyone again, and next week we'll be reviewing the movies Almost Paris, My Art, and Humor Me, and I'll be here with fellow guest critics Riyadh Mamad Riyadh. I'm sorry I'm butchering your name. I always do that. And Zainab Ali. I want to thank you for watching Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Bye.